Do you know what manifestation is? There's a lot of meanings to the word manifestation, but it's particularly meaningful in our teaching and in our spiritual path because we believe that there is a source energy in this universe that is manifesting itself through all of creation. That everything we see, experience, every person, every activity is an expression of the divine, of God, of the infinite, of the intelligence, whatever name you might call it. And so all that there is this presence, and that each one of us is a channel, an instrument through which this life and this light expresses itself. And so everything in our life is a manifestation or a demonstration or an outpicturing of some level of idea we've had about ourselves or life itself, or have sent that creative energy, that creative force in some direction on our behalf. And so we're fond of saying, if you want to know what you've been thinking about, look at your life, look at the conditions and situations. Now, it can get very complicated and subtle and powerful, and it sounds really simple at first. Like, you manifest what you think about, and what you think about comes about. I get it. And it's not always that simple. I've noticed in my life, it's not always that simple. I look at my life and say, I don't remember ever thinking a thing about that. How in the world did that get here? You might feel that way about yourself too. So I want to talk a little bit more about this process beyond just the simplistic view of what you think about comes about. And manifestation then is whatever already exists in our life as a result of our thinking nature or our emotional nature or our intentional nature. And if we want to change what we're experiencing, seeing, manifesting, we've got to change something inside of us. It's really easy to think, I could just change those things out there, or if those people out there would just do or be something different, I could have a whole different manifestation of life. And for a while, that might appear to work. But there are some things to really think about if one is serious about getting into consciously the creative force that's moving through us and becoming an active part of it in a meaningful way to actually experience change in what it is that we're manifesting. And so I want to talk about those for the time we have today. Two really important things that I think can make a huge difference for us. When we have something going on in our life and we'd like to experience something different, the gap that exists between what we're experiencing and what we'd like to experience is a beautiful gap to dance in. And part of what is inside that gap, if we will allow ourselves to see it, is why? Why do we want to go from here to there? Why do we want the thing that we have to be different? Now, why can be kind of a futile question. It can produce a little defensiveness. So maybe that's not the exact reason, but some people are fond of saying, what's your big why? You've got to be motivated, in other words. And sometimes pain is a motivation. Sometimes a great vision pulling us forward is a motivation. Yet what I've noticed about myself, and in all these years of watching people consciously use the creative process to change their lives in a meaningful way, they usually have a pretty big why. They've anchored into some meaning, some purpose, something that they really can say, hey, when I have that instead, I will have a greater sense of vision or freedom. I will have a greater sense of what's important to me, what aligns with me. And so having a sense of my big why, having a sense of what I think this will bring to me is really important. And imagining that and feeling into that, seeing it, reminding ourselves of that, and allowing ourselves to feel and enjoy the dance of envisioning that outcome in our mind, because that's how our minds work best. Yes, while we say thoughts create, what you think about tends to come about, that one word, think, is a huge umbrella for ideas, habituated thinking, emotions, and intentions that live at the core of us that sometimes we're not always aware. And indeed, that's the rub, isn't it? The deeper mind is usually what is emerging and bringing forth the realities of our life that we don't quite understand. And so in order to have something different, we've got to look deep within and say, what's the motivation that I've been having all these years for lack and limitation? What's the motivation that I might have in myself for feeling distraught or unhealthy or unhappy or anxious and worried all the time? What's my motivation? And when I say what's been my motivation, did my parents think this way? Did my caregivers? Did my siblings? Who taught me that the way I've been approaching it is the way it should be? And that might then involve some forgiveness work or some conscious decision to say, hey, that worked for them. Fine, I'm doing something different. It has to do with finding that deeper motivation. There's something that I've heard said that whenever I hear it, I don't like it. And I'm going to share it with you, even though I don't like it myself. It's that we don't get what we want when it comes to this experience of manifesting. We get what we are. We don't get what we want. We get what we are. And when we say we get what we are, a lot of times we are the habituated patterns from our past. We are the habituated ideas from our family of origin or from people we've been hanging out with or the things we've been reading on the news or seeing in the world. And the only way to change our experience is to change those habituated patterns and have a big why. I have a big dream for who I choose to be and what I choose to do and how I choose to live. And that's pulling me forward. And I'm going to attune to that more than those old ideas from the past. So having a great sense of what is motivating towards a greater outcome is a huge part of the heartful, emotional, meaningful act of manifestation. And the second part that I want to share goes right along with that. It helps to, as I said, envision that outcome we ultimately desire and get really clear what qualities would be in my life when that is present, and attune to those rather than the physical form. So in other words, if I'm imagining a greater sense of physical health, to envision vital health, vibrant health and well-being. If I'm imagining a different experience in a relationship with another human being that's loving and compassionate, to envision those qualities as I do my prayer work or my affirmations, as I go about my day, envisioning those qualities in association with that situation, that condition, that work life, that financial life, that state of my body, whatever it might be, that these are things that activate our feeling center, that activate our passion, that activate the deeper part of us that is always seeking to experience more joy, more light, more love. It's not just enough just to be an automaton and say, I affirm good health, I affirm financial abundance. It's about saying, I see myself healthy and vibrant and living the life I envision, skiing and hiking and doing all the things I love, running around with my kids or my grandkids, going on roller coasters, whatever it might be. bringing it into a sense of warmth and joy and power so that we can truly manifest. These are just some of the secrets for manifesting the things we truly wish to experience in our life. Have fun with it. How about we do a prayer about that right now? And it's going to be a fun prayer of manifestation and warmth and joy. So join me in that. I just close my eyes and go within and just feel the joyous recognition of that creative source and force, that creative energy that is shining itself in every part of this universe, that is expressing itself fully and completely, that is giving itself 100% to all, through all, and as all, including this moment right now. It is pouring through me, through my consciousness, through this word that I am speaking right here and right now, and it is pouring itself through every person within the sound of my voice. We are divine instruments of life itself. And our work in this prayer is mainly to attune ourselves, just like we would tune an instrument to play the note we most seek it to play. We must attune ourselves as instruments of life and creativity to the tune of the divine, to the tune of love, to the tune of joy, peace, wholeness, health, light, and life. And this is what we do when we pray together and we activate that aspect of ourselves that feels into these qualities. And so right now, whatever it is that we most seek to manifest, I invite each one of us to tune ourselves to the quality of that experience, to feel it, to imagine it, to feel the warmth pouring through us. The universe, God, that infinite source, is always there saying, yes, my beloved, yes. Whatever it is that we attune ourselves to, it is there to meet that energy and be manifest through us. And so right here and right now, I claim that for each one of us, that highest quality, that deepest sense of truth, and that motivation that pulls us forward into that greater yet to be is strong, clear, and powerful. We feel it with great joy. We feel the warmth of it. We allow ourselves to feel the relief and the joy that comes with manifesting this good that we seek. I'm so grateful, so very grateful that this is the truth, that this is how life works, and so grateful that each one of us have taken the time right here and right now to tune into it and to allow it to be through us in this new and vibrant way. And I release this prayer now, releasing these words and these ideas. This release is a release of faith and trust that as it has been spoken, it is done. It is a release that lets go and lets God and lets it be so right here, right now. And so it is. Amen.